Alright, let's talk about the next episode of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which is Princeton, February 1916. This one is kind of special and interesting because the main story takes place before Indy joins the Great War. He's still in high school in this, so we get something we get very rarely in this show, which is Sean Patrick Flannery's teenage Indy and Henry Sr. together, which is fun. But of course, let's start with the old Indy framing device. It's one of my favorites. Old Indy is just driving to like a gas station, and there's another old guy who drives a monster truck, and Indy is impressed by, how big it is. And then they start talking cars, and Indy tells the story how he got the Bugatti of his girlfriend's father to drive her to the prom. And there was a mystery involved because, so this is fun. His girlfriend is Nancy Stratemeyer, who is a fictional person, doesn't exist, but her father is Edward Stratemeyer, who is the creator of books like Nancy Drew, Tom Swift. And Indy is also a fan of those books. That is a fun aspect of this episode, because it turns into a Nancy Drew mystery story with Indy and Nancy, because they need to get the Bugatti fixed, to drive to the prom. Indy is asking a scientist, to repair the car, but then they get involved in a mystery, a crime case, when that scientist gets kidnapped, apparently by Germans. Some plans get stolen. Plans created by fucking Thomas Edison. Of course, we got another historical figure in here. And yeah, without spoiling too much, this is a fun episode. I really like Nancy as a character. She's a good sidekick for Indy. I mean, she's kind of the main investigator in this. Indy himself, Flannery, good portrayal as usual. Henry Sr. in this, he doesn't have a lot of screen time, but it's nice just having him here, seeing him alongside Flannery, because we mostly obviously see him with Corey Carrier's young Indy. So that's just, a nice little thing. I like the framing device with old Indy and the monster truck, because that's just awesome. And this episode is just overall a nice little change of pace, because we mostly got World War I episodes and stuff so far. With little breaks like his time in Chicago, those 2 episodes. Again, I like that this show keeps mixing it up. So yeah, definitely would recommend this episode. Probably not one of my favorites, but it is decent. And I think, again, this one works better as a standalone than, the re-edit Adventures of Young Indy version, which pairs it up with the second half of Curse of the Jackal and turns it into Spring Break Adventure, which I don't like, because that is the first time, if you watch that re-edited version, that's the first time you meet Flannery's young Indy with this episode. And while I like this episode, I don't think this is a good introduction for him. But again, maybe I'm just because, Curse of the Jackal, I like how that story is set up. And I think that works better. But yeah, that's about it. Next time, we gonna go back to the spy times of World War I, with Indy in Russia.